Hey y'all, it's another episode of Juzzing with Jazzy. And we're gonna make some shrimp, sausage, and okra and chicken gumbo. Now I got my sausage sizzling. Got the bell pepper, onion, and celery, the holy trinity, chopped up. And also the garlic. We got our flour going, our grease is getting hot. Now let's get our chicken underway. We're going to fry up some wings. Are frying up our wings, and we're frying up the rest of the stuff we got going on. Also, the okra is cut up off to the side. We're going to be reusing this grease and this flour to make our roux. As soon as we get done frying our chicken wings. Y'all don't forget, if you touch raw chicken, wash your hands. Get a little hand washing going on. Now let's flip these. Want to get a nice, good little color on them. Release all that grease in them. I'm using some Cajun style, the smoked andouille link, because I like the flavor that comes off of it. But if you want to, you can use whatever type of smoked sausage you prefer. I just really like this one. This is the same one I use to make my breakfast sausage with bell peppers and onions. So this is the one I'm going to use for this as well. And once we get this sausage all fried up, we're actually going to use that same pan with that same grease to get our onions and bell peppers and celery going. Might as well infuse that flavor into them as well. Check our chicken wings. And you just want to get them fried up good enough to get some color on them. You don't necessarily have to get them done because they're going to finish cooking in the gumbo. I'm just going to put a little container on the side of this. We'll sit it over there. We're going to get them chicken wings to drain just a little bit. Okay, it only takes a few minutes to get some color on your smoked sausage. Once you get those together, I had the smoked sausage a little over medium. I don't like to cook everything too fast because you run the risk of just burning it. And that I don't want to do. We're going to get all these smoked sausages out. And while we got all that good smoked sausage flavor in here, be careful now, it's going to be popping. It's going to be popping a lot. Put them over here. Then we're going to dump our Trinity in. Looks like a lot, but when it cooks down, it's not going to be as much as it looks like now. And we're going to get all these little pieces out of here. We ain't wasting nothing. You bought it, you paid for it, you chopped it up, use it. Gotta switch utensils here. And if you feel something is cooking too fast, switch utensils. Switch settings. Turn it down. Because everybody's oven cooks at different paces. So my 350 may not necessarily be your 350. My medium high may not necessarily be your medium high. So we'll just keep that in mind. Now we do want to flavor in some layers. So go ahead and put your little salt on your vegetables. That'll help them sweat down a little bit faster. Add a little pepper. We'll get to some other seasonings later. Uh-oh. One jumped out. Let's go back in. And I wait to cook my garlic because I am one of them folks that I don't know how other people do it. Cook all this with the garlic in there and don't burn it. My garlic burns. So I wait to add my garlic till later. And you see all that good color coming off the bottom? All that good fat seasoning. And we're not going to put that over there with the one I'm using for the chicken because that's raw chicken and we're not going to get no salmonella. chicken. And let's just put a little rack over here, on here. That way, we can keep this chicken. Hold on. There's sausage on my finger. That way we can keep the chicken from getting too soggy. And that flour in the chicken is also going to help make your gumbo thicker, along with the roux. Just let these cook on down. Put in another batch of chicken. And we'll be back with it. About now, when you got batch 2 and you got the third batch, I would suggest getting your okra, slicing them up if you're using fresh. If not, go ahead and defrost your regular okra. Get it defrosted. You can either put it in some water with a little bit of apple cider vinegar or a little bit of lemon juice to try to get some of that slimy up off it. It's gonna be some in there. That's just okra. That's the name of the game. Most of that will be gone by the time you cook it inside your gumbo, so don't worry about that. And this right here is just 2 cans of diced tomatoes with either green chilies. They actually have some now that come with onions, bell pepper, and celery. That's the kind I decided to use today. And I also forgot, when you get ready to get to your flour, throw a little Creole seasoning in there. Throw whatever brand it is that you particularly like, use that brand and put you some Creole seasoning in there. See how the nice flavored and came and gotten on to the onions. So the onions, this is gonna taste great. It smells great. I wish you could smell it. I know I don't get on camera, but I have a regular people kitchen. I'm cooking for regular people. I don't have producers and all the extra stuff. So in between doing some of this, when stuff is frying and you don't necessarily need to touch it, because we're cooking in a regular kitchen and we have children, go ahead and wash some of them dishes that you've been using. That's what I would suggest. That's what I do. Okay, those are cooked down enough. I'm going to do a little something else to soften them up a little bit more. Because I pretty much like for them to be dissolved into the gumbo. I don't like big chunks of these veggies in there. And go ahead and add the garlic. And you will know that garlic is done. When you start smelling that garlic, I suggest not to keep going. I don't. When that garlic gets good and fragrant, you're getting close to that burning point. Like I say, if I put it in with everything else, my garlic would be burnt by now. Now, every time you make something, you're going to make it a little bit different. You're going to add a little more of this, a little more of that. You're going to figure out your recipe, figure out how you like it. And today, I thought I had chicken stock. I do not. But I had chicken bouillon. Works the same. Get it. Make you enough to make 6 cups. Mix it up with a little bit of water. We're not going to put all the water in it just yet, because we're going to let some of those flavors concentrate and soften these veggies we got going on. And see, our second batch is about done over there. The garlic is starting to smell nice and fragrant. You can go a little bit more. Watch for your pieces of garlic, because those are going to be the pieces that are, at this point, still white, because they weren't in that fat from the sausages. And I'm working on getting a website so I can post these recipes. For now, I'll figure out something to get them up. But this is just 1 bell pepper, 1 large onion, and I only used 2 stalks of celery, but they were 2 large stalks, 2 from like the outer edges of it, and about 4 cloves of garlic. Yep, starting to get that smell. Like I say, I had the chicken bouillon. I mixed it with about a little over a cup of water, but it's enough bouillon for 6 cups of broth. And just look at it. If it looks like it's not enough, you can add a little bit more water, because there's not enough water in it from the get-go. That way you have a little bit of leeway. And here's where you're going to get these veggies softened the rest of the way up. Okay. Those are softening. Let's just put a lid on them. Cut them down a little bit, a little less than medium, because you don't want them to be a rolling boil. Let's get some more chicken up. Stay right there. Come on back. I see chicken likes to run away. While that's coming back up to a boil and softening those up, you can go ahead and throw the rest of your wings. Now, if you don't want to use wings, you can dice up chicken tenders. You can dice up boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I don't suggest breast, only because they just get a little too dry in it for me. Now we're going to gauge out this flour. That only looks about half a cup. So we're going to add about another 1/4 of a cup of flour to this, because we're going to use this flour to make our roux. And it's okay to use it because we're cooking it. We're going to cook it. Yes, there was raw chicken in it, but we are going to cook it. Mix it up so you can get them seasonings all mixed up in there. And let's let this chicken cook. Okay, now that your last batch of chicken is done, let me show you vegetables softening and flavoring up just a little bit more over here. Now, traditional gumbo is a long process. It's not quick. It's not fast. It's going to take a while. You're going to have to sit, stir, watch. And this roux is going to be the main part of your sitting, watching, and stirring. Now, I'm going to cut this down because I had this on medium-high to fry. But we're going to cut that down. And I suggest always cooking a little extra sausage, a little extra chicken. Because it takes so long, you may want to nibble a couple pieces. I'm not going to fault you for it. So go ahead and cook a little extra. Now we're going to switch utensils. We're going to use a wooden spoon. Okay. Now we've stirred up our flour. We got our grease cooled down a little bit. Let's check this grease. This is the grease we fried our chicken in. I'm going to loosen up some of those bits off the bottom before you add this in now. And all those crunchy bits that are down in now are just going to help flavor it better. We had to get out our wooden spoon. And we'll add that flour, that seasoned flour we use for the chicken, into it. Now if it's frying too hard, cut it down. You don't want it to fry fast. The process, you want it to slow down that frying. You want to mash it in now. Get all them little bits off the bottom. And fry up that flour. At this part, I cut it down to about, I'm going to say in between medium and low. Because you don't want it cooking too, you don't want it frying per se. You just want it cooking. And just stir till you get that good fry up off it. And if it looks like you got a little too much grease in there, just about half of the fourth of a cup. Just add a little more at a time. Now that is going to entail that in the end you will add more chicken broth, water. And if you were to make this vegan, instead of the sausage and chicken, you would use some okra and just do it like that. And you could use the faux sausage and the faux chicken. But now those, you would wait it to add in later because they'll break down. So you would want to do your vegetables, your tomatoes, and this, and let it cook for a while for your flavors to meld. And then add your faux stuff if you were doing just a straight vegan version. And you would use the vegetable stock. Now, if you want to in this, I'm doing shrimp. But if you wanted to, you could add blue crabs. And you would wash those and add those when you add your shrimp. Because they don't take long at all to cook. And the shrimp is going to be the last thing you're going to add to this. But we're going to be stirring for a while. This part takes, I'm going to say, when you're making the roux from scratch, a good 30 minutes. And I just use a wooden spoon because I like this enamel coated cast iron. and it won't scratch up the bottom of it. But just watch it. This roux is going to get darker a little faster because you already have those nice golden bits from your fried chicken in there. All right. Let me doing a little washing up and cleaning up, and I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, we switched pot locations around a little bit, and see how that roux is getting there. It's almost there. It's not quite there yet, but we're working on it. I say about another 10, 15 minutes, hopefully. We can get this roux nice and darkened. The darker the roux, the better the flavor. Now, you don't want to burn it. You don't want it black. But you do not want it a nice, dark brown. Okay, so now that we are here, roux is thick. We're going to add all our veggies. And yes, I did start to add the veggies before I hit the play button on the record. So I had to stop and re-add the veggies. And we want all that good flavor out there. Actually, what we're going to do is run a little water in here. Rinse it through. Get all your flavor. Because you know you cook that sausage in there and everything. So you want to get that in. It's going to be thick at this point. Extremely thick. No. Go ahead and add your diced tomatoes. And if you don't like the diced tomatoes in there, you can leave them out. Some folks do. My family uses them, so I use them. After this, you're going to want to add about a half a teaspoon, no, a whole teaspoon of onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper, paprika, and get all those in there. I'll add them, but I probably won't be seeing in the video, so I'm just going to say what I'm adding now. And if you want to, in our household, we add about a teaspoon. No, I take that back. About a half teaspoon of cayenne pepper because we like ours spicy. If you wanted to, you could dice up about one jalapeno pepper, or put you a can of green chilies in here. You see how thick that is? I'm going to add some more water to it. See where we're at. Because believe me, as this boils, it's going to thicken up and you can add a little more water to it. Some people like to add the gumbo file. I don't know how to pronounce it. Not going to lie to you. You can, but I would do that right before serving, after you've added the shrimp and your flavors have gotten in there good, then that's when I would add that. So let's see. And like I said, you want to get a little slime off of that okra, cook it in some lemon juice. Put in a little lemon juice, cook it off, cook off some of it. Let's go ahead and add our smoked sausage. All that good grease. That's flavor. Putting the flavor in there. Let me go see about these chicken wings, how many I'm putting in here. Because like I said, cook enough because you're going to want to eat some. And remember, you're still going to add shrimp to this, so you don't need to have too many. I guess I only need 3. I'll sacrifice for the cause. Now, I do have these on medium high, but that is only because I am right here. If I was not going to be right here, they would not be this high. We all know nobody like that slimy of the okra. We don't. We don't like it. So, it's pot getting together. And we still have shrimp to add. I'm going to add about 1.5 pounds. Said I'm going to add 2 pounds. I still might, but I think I'm going to add about 1.5 pounds. Because my pot's getting kind of full. And they've already been deveined. Shells off. Tails off the shells. Like, the shells off the tails and everything. So, you know, this is just to go ahead and eat. Don't serve nobody no okra. Okra. What am I talking about? I'm looking at this okra. Don't serve nobody no gumbo with those shells on your shrimp. I know shells on the tails of the shrimp. So those shells will fall off. And when they get a spoonful of something that they think is just the good broth with some rice, it's going to have a whole shell in it. So no shells on the shrimp. Completely de-shell, then devein your shrimp. We're going to let these cook for a while. I say about, in lemon juice, about 5 minutes. So I use lemon juice. If you use the vinegar, soak them in some vinegar water and then put them in a strainer and rinse them a few times to go on and get the slime up off of them. And you see, I'm not using that many because I'm not going to fight with all that. I can fight with it a little bit, but not a whole lot. Just want the flavor of the okra. And this right here will do it. Now, I do have a recipe to make this whole gumbo with canned products. You can judge me later. Some people just don't have the time for all that. And I will make that video at a later date. All right, y'all. Y'all see how those fried down? And a lot. Oops, dropped one. A lot of that slime is gone. So we're going to put them in now. Now we got most of that out. You ain't never gonna get it all out. So don't die trying. But you're gonna get some of it out. And we gonna let this cook. Gumbo takes a long time. Like I said, it takes a very, very long time to cook. Because you want flavors to mend and meld and mold and everybody to be happy. So let's let that do that. And then we'll get ready to add in some shrimp. Okay, we've added the shrimp to it. Soon as them come to color, this gumbo will be done. You see how the shrimp are starting to turn? This is about done.